woman took off her jacket, loosened her tousled hair and tossed it a few times. In an instant, the man removed all his defenses. With that, the woman easily accomplished her suicide goal for the day. Then, she pulled out her cell phone to see that she had to go home and cook dinner. She grabbed her backpack and jumped off the 100-meter-high building, afraid that her husband would be too late for dinner. On the other side, the three of them were fighting the landlord. Kyun came running drunk and insisted on dragging them to a card game, but just when they were happy, he started to sneak in. He kills them all in seconds. When he got home, the contractor, Kyun, put on his wedding ring. Judging by the blood on his collar, he's not as easy as he looks. Meanwhile, Laura has prepared dinner and waits for her husband to come home. They have been married for many years and lost the romance of those days. They each hid their identity as killers. That night, the couple received a phone call at the same time. Lola said she had to travel for 2 days to see her parents. Jeong also said he had to leave home to paint the exterior of the Three Gorges. The next day, they returned to their respective companies. It turned out that last night's call was a task set by the organization. Coincidentally, they all have the same mission this time: kill a boy named Tang. After returning home, Kyun went to his secret arsenal and picked out the weapons to be used in the operation. Meanwhile, Laura, who was pretending to be asleep, also sensed that Kyun had left the house. She gently pressed a few codes. The oven in the house slowly extended a secret compartment. A row of high-tech weapons was displayed in front of her eyes. The scene then shifts to a pair of armed vehicles approaching quickly in the desert. Inside the vehicle is the couple's target. At this point, Laura arrives at the mission site and monitors it all with binoculars. Looking at the time, Laura opened the preset mine. As soon as the target touches the infrared sensor, it would trigger the mine and cause an explosion. Mrs. Strong stretched her back and started waiting for her prey to take the bait. But just then, an uninvited guest broke into the minefield, destroying the infrared sensor and starting the bomb countdown. This man is the murderous Kyun. Not only did he disrupt his wife's plan, he was also peeing under her nose. The furious Laura immediately took out a quadruple sniper rifle. One shot made this unqualified man fall to the ground. Luckily, Kyun was wearing 6x armor, and Kyun was furious. Who cares who you are? He directly backhanded a shot of enhanced RPG. Good stuff. At this moment, the huge explosion sound also made their action goal fall through. On the other hand, Kyun's wife, who was injured in the explosion, is very angry. I've never seen such an unethical killer using such a powerful weapon as RPG, and now her boss is calling to tell her to take care of them within 48 hours. Okay, new target. Let's find out who he is. Meanwhile, Kyun found a damaged laptop at the scene. After data recovery, the address of his wife's company appeared on the computer. On the other hand, Laura swore in her heart to find out this idiot with a bazooka, but just when she was watching the video, she realized that the man's urine-shaking action in the surveillance video was so familiar. Then, the more she watched, the more shocked she was. Who else could this signature move be but the dead ghost in the house? The man hid the knife in his pocket when his wife wasn't looking, but he didn't realize that his wife had prepared a big knife when she served the food. For a while, the atmosphere seemed very delicate, and Kyun stuffed a piece of meat into his mouth and chewed it slowly. He was afraid that his wife might have poisoned it. In order not to arouse suspicion, Chan had to pretend to swallow it. Then he spat the meat into a towel. Then he got up and poured a glass of red wine for his wife and threw away the bottle. But in the very next second, the nimble hand exposed the wife's strength. The air instantly frowsy as the wife threw away the bottle in her hand. "Let me clean it up. I'll get a towel." But just as Chang pulled out his pistol, he realized that his wife had already fled in her car. He didn't mean anything else. He just wanted to talk to his wife. But just then, Kyun's pistol went off and hit his wife's car window. He was finished. How dare he shoot at me? Chan rushed out to explain to his wife, but Laura didn't even listen to his explanation and violently slammed him into the car. Kyun jumped into the car window, but Laura jumped out of the car. "We need to talk." The next day, the wife brought her hands down to the house and emptied her husband's belongings. Kyun came home, dumbfounded. The loser bitch confiscated all his weapons. The next day, Kyun came downstairs to his wife's company, disguised as a contractor. He didn't expect to be discovered and trapped in the elevator just as he entered it. Kyun's wife advised him to leave immediately or she would detonate the bomb. Then he would be with the old man next door. But Kyun was very happy to hear that, saying that if you kill me, no one can satisfy you. Oh hey. Bye, John. What's going on? Did you say goodbye? Laura was dumbfounded. She blamed herself for their flirtation, and how could her little sister understand? In the evening, Laura went to the same restaurant she and her husband always went to. A man was drunk and sad, but then someone held her hand and poured her a glass of wine. Damn, that's a familiar touch. She looked up and it was that asshole. It turned out that Kyung wasn't even in the elevator. He hid in the next elevator and switched the cameras.
In the restaurant, Kyung pretended to dance with Laura to vent his anger. Laura knew she had gone too far, so she didn't argue with him and let him vent his anger. Play is play. Fooling around is fooling around. Pistols are not for him now.
After that, Mrs. Strong found an excuse to go to the toilet, but not for long. There was an explosion in the toilet. Sister-in-law Kyung took advantage of the chaos to escape, but just then, Kyung's clothes heard the sound. This CBL also put a CD on himself. Back up, back up. In a moment, Kyung was so angry that he directly robbed a passerby's car. He was ready to have a summit fight with his wife. Come to find your dad. Who's your father? Juice. Come on, I can't do it. You want to? Come on. Memories of the two of them. Memories of those happy days. The two finally couldn't help but kiss passionately. Then, they started to fight in close quarters. After the fight, Ah-chung gasped and licked his tongue, revealing a satisfied smile. This feeling of fighting at the head of the bed and making peace at the end of the bed also elevated their relationship. Both had a flavor of lust, but happy times are always too short. A smoke bomb was thrown straight in. It turns out that the organizations on both sides decided to finish them off. They escaped, but are soon overtaken by their pursuers. They have no choice but to fight back. They finally escaped, but couldn't keep running like that, so they decided to find the one who started it all. The boy named Tang, with the help of the top killers. Tang was soon captured by them, but they soon realized that Tang was just a decoy. They also found a picture of the two of them in his pocket. It turned out that the organization had long known that they were a couple. In order not to let the organization's secret be leaked, they went so far as to lie to them. This person called Tang was just a coerced victim. Currently, the two organizations track Tang based on his belt locator. In any case, since we can get rid of them, let's kill them all. In the supermarket, the couple put on their armor and handsome suits, preparing for a life and death battle. Soon, the first wave of enemies sneaked in. One, Do, and Kyung easily solved them. Sister-in-law Kyung is not to be outdone. Two flying daggers hit accurately. The third one, I don't know if it was on purpose or was deflected, hit Kyung's thigh. But as the saying goes, even the fiercest tiger cannot defeat a jackal. Kyung's wife was shot and wounded. The two hid in a small warehouse. Their bodies were already full of holes. Facing a heavy siege, the couple checked each other's equipment. Then, they smiled at each other and rushed out of the warehouse. Risking certain death, they began to counterattack. They rushed left and right. They bent low and dodged the shells. Husband and wife worked together with their unparalleled cooperation. They cover each other with the powerful aura of the protagonists. The enemy was killed in a moment, and the couple's posture is very handsome. The movie also basically ends here. This is the love work of Pitt and Jolie, who became a couple because of this movie. It's no coincidence that the two also perfectly interpreted the essence of the movie. In reality, the two chose to divorce within a few years. Needless to say, the divorce of this talented couple is really regrettable. Well, this is the end of this installment of the movie. Feel free to post your thoughts in the comments section. I'm Scissor Movie. See you next time.